Welcome back, everybody. This is GTF. I'm going to be quickly playing a thing for you all. This is just a quick one-episode Let's Play. I played a thing. This is Kioh Gyoku. It's the second game of the Seihou series, not Touhou. Seihou is a similar series designed by amusement makers, although the music and character art for the games were done by Zun or however you're supposed to pronounce that handle of his, the guy that created the Touhou series. And you can certainly hear it in the music and see it in the character design, particularly how, well, juvenile the artwork is. But yeah, this is how the game works. It's a versus bullet hell shooter, very much in the same vein of Phantasmagoria Flower View, Phantasmagoria Big Dream, or what was the game they were based off? Twinkle Star Sprites. So, it plays very similar to those. You kill stuff that makes bullets shoot back at you for everything you kill. You graze those to build up the power gauge on the bottom, and then you charge up your attacks to release spells or special attacks at the enemy. Every character plays sort of differently, has different weaponry, and different charge shots. Yuka is a Touhou cameo. She was the final boss of the 4th game, Lotus Land Story, a playable character in the 5th and 9th games, Mystic Square and Phantasmagoria Flower View. And the person I'm fighting right now is Mei and Mai. They were the Stage 2 boss. The round before that was Miria, who was the Stage 1 boss, and I completely forgot to mention what they were the bosses of the previous game, Shuusou Gyoku. The big difference between Touhou and Seihou is basically the bullets are in much greater quantity and move much faster. To compensate, though, you have a significantly smaller hitbox, so it balances out in that regard, but it does make Seihou seem a lot more intimidating. Who I'm fighting right now is Gates. He was the Stage 3 boss of Shuusou Gyoku. And the first 3 stages of this game are actually randomized from the character roster. So there's 6 potential people you could fight for the first 3 rounds. And it's just a coincidence that I ended up going 1, 2, 3 from the previous game. The first 3 stages are pretty much easy. The AI is almost completely brain dead and will take no effort to dodge, and many times they'll just move straight into bullets. As you can see, they all went down in less than a minute. And here's the first boss of the game, Morgan. She can be either really easy and die really fast, or she can be a pain in the ass and linger and kill you. If you can't figure it out, her graze attacks and her level 2 spell, which is always a larger version of your graze attack, targets directly where you are, and then it spreads out a little wider. You get one clean hit from those things will pretty much instantly break your shield. Yes, that's what determines whether or not we live or die. You see the gauge up in the top left of each of our screens? That's our shield. Every time you get hit, it goes down a little bit, and when it goes to 0, you break, it breaks, and then the next hit you take kills you. If you don't die with your shield broken after a while, it will start recharging up to 30%. And the game just keeps going on until one of you dies. How much damage you take per hit is dependent on the character. Some people are kind of glass cannons, others are much tankier characters. I prefer the slower, tankier characters. Yuka is one of them, and although in all fairness, Yuka is pretty much game-breaking mode on this, but I'm using her just to make everything go faster. Because if you haven't noticed, that charge shot is ridiculously good. Although, in this particular fight against the final boss, Muse, it can almost be more of a hindrance, because it can cause way too much stuff to be sent at you at once. Yeah, a key to survival in this is stop shooting. If you're getting overwhelmed, stop shooting, which will cause less stuff to be shot at you. Muse has pretty much some very different AI compared to the other characters. She fights much more like a character from Phantasmagoria Flower View, which is, she pretty much will almost never get hit by anything until after enough time passes, and then she completely falls apart. And I'm already off to a very bad start due to some very sloppy dodging. In the first hit I took, I couldn't help it. Yuka's wasn't fast enough to get me underneath them for a complete safe shot, to be completely safe from that cross shot there. so I had to just take one hit. Unfortunately, though, Muse does a lot of damage. She is the final boss for a reason. Yes, like Morgan, her shots, her graze attacks, and her level 2 spell target directly where you are. It can be very annoying, and it does a lot of damage, too. Yuka is a relatively high defense character, too. I love the stage music, though. This is easily one of the best in the game. Enigmatic Doll, God Knows, is the name of the piece. Typical, long, Touhou-ish kind of name, but it is awesome nonetheless. Her boss phase is very irritating, too. It has a lot of different attacks that it can throw at you, and some of them are really big clusterfucks. Which is why I always tried to kill the boss phase first. Some of them you can actually ignore for a little while, and just take them out as you need to. Muse will not really go out of her way to destroy your boss phase, which is an advantage to you. Your boss attacks are only going to be destroyed if they were unfortunate enough to linger and to be left on the left side of the screen. Basically, anytime your boss phase dies, it's by coincidence. But my key to actually winning this fight is to keep the pressure on her, because once she starts falling apart, it goes really fast. Which she should be doing now. Right around now. Watch as she'll, like, sit on a bullet. And yeah, this is the first time my shield broke, and I survived long enough, and now it's started to recharge. But it doesn't matter. Fight's over. Not the fastest time I've ever had on her, but it generally is going to take you at least a minute. She just doesn't take damage otherwise. And I'm going back now because you can never fight Yuka in story mode, so I'm going to show her off now. And as you see, player 2 has alternate colors for everybody in versus mode. To unlock Yuka, you have to beat the game with Muse. To get Muse, you have to beat the game with story mode with Morgan. I hated doing that. I can't stand playing as Morgan. Her charge shot is weird, and she moves way too fast. I do not like the really super fast speedsters, and in order to do anything, I pretty much had to stay in focus movement the whole goddamn time. Because it's like almost impossible for me to control her. She just moves so fast for my preferences. But yeah, you've pretty much seen how Yuka goes for me playing as her. But still, I wanted to show off the music. My second favorite tune in the game, because God Knows is just amazing. This one's equally good in my opinion. Lovely Mound of Cherry Blossoms, the Flower of Japan is the name of the piece. I love how peaceful it is. It really doesn't match the tone of the game, but it's nice ear music. And versus mode is it's a best 2 out of 3, whereas story mode is just, you have one shot. By the way, there are no continues in story mode. You lose all your lives, it's game over. It's just how it goes. It's because it's short, which makes it fair. And don't be amazed at this. I'm not making this look easy. It's just not a very difficult game. In general, it's better if you're playing against a human. Because as you see, the AI is pretty dumb. But, yeah, that was the game. Kioh Gyoku, go check it out. I love it a lot. This has been GTF, out.